Want to clean something up from earlier in the show. Wex here with you on the big show. MJ out. Brett Dolan sitting in for the last hour and another half hour till we get to 10 o'clock. Turn things over to In the Trenches. ND here with you today. I'm sure he's recovered from his week in New Orleans. I threw something out at the beginning of the show saying if the Niners had won the Super Bowl, Colin Kaepernick would have given the Niners a third different Super Bowl winning quarterback. And that kind of stood out to me because I couldn't recall how many other teams had done it. It seemed like a lofty perch to be sitting on, but I completely botched that, saying I could only think of one team that did it. And Carl emails in saying, no, there's several teams that have done it. I was thinking of the Redskins with Theismann and Rippon and Doug Williams. Doug was actually up there this weekend, saw him a little bit. Magical 35-point second quarter. Giants, Sims.
Hostetler.
And the great Eli Manning. And the other one is so obvious, I feel like I ought to take 5 minutes in the sin bin for not remembering this
Green
one.
Bay Packers.
Of course.
Mr. Starr, Mr. Rogers, and Mr. Favre. I'm a minority owner of the Packers, so I'm allowed to know that.
You got a pretty large stake.
I have 2 shares, and that gets me absolutely nothing. But I'm a minority owner.
You haven't divulged this over the hour's worth of time. There's 32 teams in the NFL. If one team was your team, who's that team?
Well, it's probably the Packers. I mean, I follow the Texans. I've been a local now for 7 years, but the Packers is my team. I try to get to Lambeau about every other year. It didn't work out this season, but I hope to get back next year. I have relatives in Green Bay. I spent my first 6 years of my broadcasting career in Wisconsin, and it coincided when the other Brett came into town about 1994. So it was a pretty good time to start following them again.
Did you have an opportunity on the airwaves or otherwise to reference him as the other Brett?
I did not, and I suppose that's probably the only time I will call him the other Brett. Yeah, that didn't sound so good. But
he was there as well this weekend. He was on set with the NFL Network crew a little bit. Brett Favre, he was there at the Honors Awards with Aaron Rodgers, among others. I would say, boy, he's gotten gray, but he was gray when he was playing, which was obviously not that long ago. But I still can't believe what he did. His 1 year with the Vikings was so unexpected after he had turned into a gunslinger pretty early in his career, but was able to keep doing it for so long. It always bothered me that he was revered at such a level, yet he would still be so capable of making the unbelievably dumbest decision, the worst mistake, the game-killing mistake so many times in his Packers career. Playoff games, overtime games, just what are you doing? That's what a third-year guy does.
Right.
And then he went off and did it with the Vikings during that magical season in their game against the Saints. Really awesome quarterback. Obviously, his athletic ability and his arm was what made him who he is, but pretty hard for me to put him too high on the all-time list.
Bouncy Gate got him at the end there at the Superdome. I was backstage for the NFC Championship game, and I watched him limp to the podium to talk to the media after the Saints went to the Super Bowl, and I watched him put his arm over Deanna because he couldn't really steady himself to get down the hallway after that game, the shots he took, and one of the interceptions he took, we found out after the fact, was an illegal hit. Probably should have been a penalty instead of a turnover. Who knows how that would have played out at the end, but the Saints got their victory.